So we began this conversation a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about a couple of things. I actually posted a recap for that a little bit ago on inside the group. You might want to go there and check it out if you've missed the first two. My main man Joe, how you doing, brother? So one of the things that we talked about is we said the first thing that we got to do in order for us to win and take our life and our business to the next level is we got to reflect before we project. Meaning, we got to take a look at, what is working, what is not working. And that's how we're able to identify what it is that we got to do differently in order for us to progress and move our business to the next level. We talked about, what is it that we learned about ourselves? We talked about, what is it that we resist that we got to overcome? And then we started to project. We wanted to begin with our projections. My main man, Joe, the video is scrambled. I don't know. Jerry, can you see me well? Can you hear me well? We're good? Looks, everything's looking good from my end. I'm watching it right here on Facebook. I'm watching myself live on Facebook. That is so cool on a different screen. Anyways, so we talked about last week was, totally identifying exactly what is a winning year gonna look like. Like if life and business were as good as it could possibly be in 2021, what's it gonna look like in all the major areas of our life, in our business, in our finances, in our relationships, to who we are, how we're showing up to our community, contribution, spiritual, mental, physical, etc. And that is always the starting point, because everything that we do in our business life is impacting our personal life, and everything that we're doing in our personal life is also impacting our business life, and vice versa. So now in taking this conversation to the next level, if you've already done the work that I've asked you to do, you have an idea of what's working, you have an idea of what's not working, you know why it's not working, and you got to do something different. So now what we're going to do is, if you were to write down anything, okay, if you were to write down anything, I kind of hinted around what is the conversation going to be about today. I said, operate your business based on data, not emotion. Operate your business based on data and not emotion. So you got to start thinking to yourself right now, as you reflect back on the business part of 2020, what does the data tell me about my business? What does the data tell me about my business? Okay, and I'm gonna walk you through some things that, you might, if you're driving or if you're in the go and watching this, you might want to come back a little bit later on and watch this video again and write down some of the questions and answer the questions, because it's going to give you a clear idea of exactly where you are versus where you want to be, so we can reverse engineer the ultimate goal into little micro steps in order for you to reach that final destination, which is your goal. So I would begin by, if I'm in your shoes and I'm sitting down right now thinking to myself, okay, I want to have this killer year next year. Before I even write down the goal for next year, I want to take a look at the data, okay? And I'd be looking at, the first thing is like, okay, this year, 2020, how many sales did I end up with? How many sales did I end up with? And I don't even want to know, is that a satisfactory number? Is that a good number or a bad number? It doesn't matter. The reality is, that's your number. But now we got to break it down further. So we'll play around with the example that, let's say you did 12 deals this year. Okay. What we want to know next is, how many of those were buyers and how many of those were sellers? How many were buyers and how many were sellers? Now we have an idea. A certain percentage of our business is being controlled by listings sold, and the other percent, the remainder percentage, is being buyer sales. So now that we know that, we got to ask ourselves an even deeper question. And the question is, where is this business coming from? Where is this business coming from? The sellers. So let's say you're running a business 50-50. You did 6 sellers this year. Where did those sellers come from? Like, I want you to write them down. 2 came from for sale by owners as an example, 2 came from expired, 1 came from a referral, 1 came from a past client, etc., etc., etc. And then I want you to do the same exact thing for your buyers. Where is that business coming from? Because if you don't know where your business is coming from, then you don't know how to project as to where you're going to get the business from next year. So for example, if you wrote down 2 for sale by owners, 2 expireds, and 2, 1 referral, 1 past client. Now you got to take it a step further and you got to say to yourself, okay, what did I do to get those listings? What did I do to get those listings? What are the action steps? If it came from expireds, hey, how many expireds did you have to speak to get those 2 listings? How many for sale by owners did you have to speak to over the course of the last 12 months to get those 2 listings? Do you see where I'm going with this? Because that's data. For example, if you had to speak to 100 expireds to get 1 listing, now you can think to yourself, if I want to get 12 next year, that means I got to do one of 2 things. 1, speak to 100 a month so I can get 1 a month, or 2, double my skills and get 1 for every 50 I speak to. See, that's what the data will tell you. Okay, that's how you're able to project. So we said, hey, how many sales in 2020? How many of them were sellers? How many of them were buyers? Where did your sellers come from? Where did your buyers come from? What did I do to get the sellers? What did I do to get the buyers? Now you are beginning to have clarity as to where your business has been coming from. And I'll tell you, for 9 out of 10 of you guys, when you do this exercise, you're going to have like an aha moment. Like, I thought my business was coming from this area, but it's really coming from another area. But I'm spending more time in the area where I'm getting less business, where I should be spending more time in the area where the business is really coming from. Once we do this, what I want you to do is now we can start making plans for 2021. So what I want you to do is take your year-to-date income. What's your year-to-date income? And how many transactions you've closed, which we've already identified what that number is. And do a little bit of math and find out what is your average commission check. What is your average commission check? Now that you know your average commission check, I don't want you to set a goal for 2021 based on number of transactions. I want you to first set your goal based on the amount of income that you want to create for yourself and your family in 2021. So as an example, if your average commission check is $5,000 and in 2021 you want to earn $100,000, now you reverse engineer that number. $100,000 divided by 5,000 equals what? You got to do 20 transactions. So now we've identified what is the number of transactions that we want to close for 2021. Now we got to break it down a little bit further. Now we get to ask ourselves this question. How many of those do I want to be listing sold versus buyer sales? What is that number? What is that number? How many listings sold versus buyer sales? Because you get to decide. You get to decide. It's totally up to you. And then we'll figure out the action steps. In this case, let's say it's going to be a 60-40 split. Okay, 60% on the listing side. So now we know you got to do 12 sellers. And now we know you got to do 8 buyers. Okay, 12 sellers, 8 buyers. So now we take it a little bit further by breaking this up into 2 categories. Like, if you have a piece of paper, what I would do is I would do a T across like that, okay? And on one side, I put down S for sellers and 1 for buyers, okay? And now I would number, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'd want to list out, where am I going to get those listings from, okay? So for example, I want the first 4 to be, as an example, expireds. I want to take 4 from expireds. I want to take 4 from for sale by owners. I want to get 2 from my past clients. And I want to get 2 from referrals, etc. This is an example. That's my example. You get to design your business any way you want. Okay. And it would look something like this. That's what I want it to look like. Okay. So now that you've identified where you want your business to come from, you do the same exact thing for the buyers. So now we know where we want to get the business from. Now that we know where we want to get the business from, you got to answer this question. How many people do I need to speak to in every single category in order for me to get that business? It's a contact sport. Contacts equal contracts. And I don't care what kind of contacts you make, whether it's at an open house, at a supermarket, networking event, online, Facebook, Instagram. It don't matter to me as long as you are making the contacts. Look, some of the people I work with, I got a woman I'm working with right now. She's got like 23 deals in pending status right now. 23 deals in pending status. Okay. And I'll tell you, those deals didn't happen by default. 90+% of those deals came exactly from where she decided they were going to come from. She knew they were going to come from the area, for example, of for sale by owners and expireds. And she knew that she's got to make a specific amount of contacts every single day in order for her to make that happen. And I'll tell you, not every day that she's making the contacts is a winning day. But she's having more winning days than not winning days as a result of being consistent. And the numbers are always within 10%. 10% up or 10% down. When you average it out, it's always 100% result. Always 100% result. So now that we know where the business is going to come from, and now we know what actions we got to take, how many contacts we got to make every single day, all we got to do is keep track of the numbers and play the numbers game. That's all we got to do. Now, I know for some of you guys, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, you know, this is, I need help putting together this plan. I need help, you know, identifying the data. I need help with, you know, reverse engineering these numbers. I need help with putting my plan together for 2021. Look, that's what we've been doing over the course of the last 3 weeks. And I get that some of you guys just need a little bit more of a helping hand, and I'm here to help. You could ask questions inside the group. You can send a private message, or you can simply reach out and schedule a one-on-one strategy session with me where I will give you that mini plan of action for 2021. It's totally up to you. But you got to take that first step. You got to take that first action. Now, is this hard work? I say do all the hard work once. Do all the hard work once. Get it over and done with. Is this sexy work? Maybe not. But this is the kind of work that's going to give you clarity, certainty, belief in your goals, and it's going to give you that desire to want to have the discipline that is required on a daily basis in order for you to show up, level up, and create the life of your dreams. Easier said than done. I get it. Easier said than done. I get it. That's why we put this group together, so we can all support one another by sharing what is working, by sharing our struggles and the obstacles and the challenges that we are faced with. I want you to start sharing those here in the group. Tag me in the post. Allow me to jump in and answer your questions and help you overcome what you need to overcome so you can continue to level up and grow. Let's see who we have on right here. We got Joe, we got Jerry. All right. Okay, so guys, it's all about the data. We can take this even further. Okay, and I want to take this further with you guys, but there's only so much that I can do here in the group without making this recording a very lengthy one. We got to keep track of all the numbers. The numbers I would keep track of is like, one, how many days am I working? How many contacts am I making? Okay, how many listing appointments I'm setting? How many listing appointments I'm actually attending? How many of those listing appointments are actually turning into a listing? And then you can reverse engineer all those numbers. You could reverse engineer it to the point of like, that many contacts equal that many appointments. That many appointments equal that many listings. That many listings equals that much money. You can break it down to the value of how much money you're making per contact, whether that person tells you to get off the phone or hang up the phone on you, or whether they set up an appointment with you, you would have a dollar value. And I'll tell you right now from my experience and the experience of the thousands of people that I've worked with over the course of the last 20 plus years, is if you knew what that number is, it's totally going to change your mindset about prospecting and doing your job every single day. What if you knew that you are making $50 for every single person you're speaking with, regardless of what the outcome of the conversation is? What if you knew that? How many contacts will you make every single day? Would you make 10 and make $500? Would you make 20 and make $1,000? Would you make 40 and make $2,000 a day? You can reverse engineer it any way you want. But if you don't have this data, it's going to be nothing more than a daunting conversation in the back of your mind that really doesn't make sense and totally robs you of the opportunity to show up and do your job every single day. That's why you got to start keeping track of the data and operate your business based on data and not emotion, because your emotions are one day this, many days down. But if you knew you're making a specific amount of money for every single call you're making, that alone will trigger a new emotion. That alone will give you hope. That alone will give you the drive to get up and do your job every single day. With that said, I think that's plenty for today. And let's see if anyone has any questions. If anyone has any questions, type up your question right now. We'll answer it for you. And if you ain't got no questions, we are going to jet and run and go about our week. My main man, Juan was very analytical with the numbers. I mean, Juan had it broken down to the point to where it's like that many people equals that. Juan, I wish Juan was on here with me right now. Like when we were working with each other, we broke it down to the point where we said, we're going to make that much money. Okay. We have to take that many listings. Okay. We got to speak to that many people. Okay. And then, you know, Juan, you hit the goal, didn't you? Like whatever we said we were going to do, we reversed engineer it. Give me a yes or a no in here. You can type. Did you hit that number? Actually, I think you exceeded that number because you also had another number of saving up a specific amount of money for the year. And like in 3 quarters, we were ahead of that, were we not? Yep. Yes, sir. There you go. We got confirmation from Juan. That's how critical it is to keep track of the numbers. Claudia, good to see you on here. You are amazing. Let me know next time you're in California. Always a pleasure seeing you when you is out here. So guys, need I say more? Need I say more about the numbers? Like, okay. So Juan said exceeded it at 6 months. So whatever we wanted to do in 1 year, we exceeded it in 6 months. And then at 9 months for the new goals, we got it again. And it was all numbers based. Okay. There was no emotion. It was all numbers. The numbers do not lie. You either know your numbers or you don't know your numbers. I'm telling you, we're about to begin a brand new year in a matter of, what's today's date? 16, 17 days. We're 2 weeks away. So what I want you to do is I want you to identify the numbers right now, which will give you a clean slate, because I know many of you guys are not keeping track of your numbers. Clean slate to begin keeping track of your numbers for the brand new year. And then here on ever, for the remainder of your career, you can reverse engineer your numbers any way you want. How to be like Forrest Gump and just do the work, Juan says. That is so true, my friend. I think we should put together a tracking sheet and give it to everyone here. Let's see if enough people want the tracking sheet. If we get enough people to say that comment tracking, just the word tracking in the comments, if I get enough interest, I'll have my assistant draw up like a simple tracking sheet for you guys, and we'll share it for with all the group members in here. But I'm not gonna have my assistant work on something that not many people want. So let's see how many people want it. Let me know by leaving a comment, and let the comment be just the word tracking, and I'll get my assistant working on it. Juan, we'll get that out to you no matter what. You got the arena. We'll give you the updated copy of the arena as well too. Guys, also Friday, I think we're going to do this live here in the group. Got a special guest that's going to be interviewed on the Top Listing Agent Show. By the way, if you're not already, okay, hold on a second. Juan, I think Juan wants to come on live. Let's come on. see if it's gonna Juan. Let's see. I think Juan wants to come on live, and let's see if it's gonna let him come on live. He clicked request to come on camera, but let's see if it's gonna work or not. But regardless, okay, as we wait for Juan, let's see. Friday, many of you guys are familiar with Frank Klesitz from Viral Marketing. He's going to be on with us on Friday. He's the next guest on the Top Listing Agent Show, and I'm going to broadcast it live in here. I think that's at 1 p.m. or so. I'll post an update letting you guys know. You guys definitely want to come on live with me and ask any and all questions as you prepare for 2021, because he's a mad genius on database marketing, viral marketing, and getting a lot more repeat referral business than you can even handle. And I want to like extract everything out of his genius brain and give it to you guys. For those of you guys who are not already subscribed to the Top Listing Agent Show, you definitely want to do that. Just go to tlashow.com. All right, looks like Juan lost the connection. So thank you guys very much for joining me live today. I'll be on at least one more time sometime this week. If there's anything that you want me to speak about, any videos you want me to create to help you out in your business, do let me know here in the comments, etc. Ask your questions, and I'll come on live and help you guys out to the best of my ability. Have an amazing rest of your day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.